Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Cheesadelphia Summer 2016, Day 2, live from Philadelphia.
Guess what?
What?
True, you might have heard of him, is making his first Cheesadelphia on-screen appearance right now. There he is right now in all of his glory. He just
look at that strong jawbone. Oh, yeah.
He's just contemplating, like, how many banelings am I going to drop on mineral lines today?
4? 10?
10?
20?
I think, like, yeah, we're thinking double digits, probably.
Double digits, definitely double digits. He's going, and he's going to be up against Jason, who is representing not only himself but Canada. Yeah, told me he's representing Canada right here, not himself.
Wow, he really looks like a Pokemon trainer, man. He just like got the hat.
What about an elk trainer, like a moose trainer? I think that's what he looks like right now.
Okay, I like how you got that red and black with the red shirt and whatnot. Yeah, like you said, though, he is representing Canada as a whole. Not even just, where is he from? Toronto, you said? Like all of Canada.
Everything.
Everything. All the trees.
All the trees. All the moose.
The mises.
All the maple syrups.
Everything. Hockey sticks and everything else that, you use as prejudice for Canada. So, honestly, I think a lot of people are going to be favoring True. And you're not a dummy for thinking that way, but honestly, it's like one of those things where I was thinking in my head, what if there is some person here right now that has been studying True style,
destined, and
has figured it out in some kind of way,
destined to defeat True.
It's always going to be a tough one, but man, never give up, never surrender.
Well, Jason, the Axe Killer, beat True.
Hey, man, if you have an axe at a StarCraft 2 event, you're probably going to win.
Probably.
So, at the bottom right-hand corner, representing Storm Gaming, one of the sponsors of the tournament, it is True.
We had, I think, a shout from our production dude right there.
Oh, yes,
looks like we know who he's supporting. In the top left-hand corner, representing Craze, it is the Red Terran player, Jason.
Here he is. TVZ is going to be the matchup, and here we're starting on King Sejong Station, by the way. So I know many people have been saying that it is kind of a nightmare sometimes for Zergs to play against Terrans on this map. It always was kind of difficult in Heart of the Swarm, but I feel like Terran does have a few more tools that they can at least bust out in order to try to irritate the Zerg's economy as best as they can in order to get that advantage into the mid-game, which is where the Terran tends to excel. But True is not an average Zerg, He doesn't really play the game
not the average bear.
He's really not. And, he likes to drop banelings a lot. He likes to hit you at multiple angles. He just loves his multitasking. Sometimes he likes making a lot of queens, too, and just pretty much overwhelm you with that. So, finally get a chance to show it to the viewers exactly how he's going to be approaching this matchup.
And at least for now, we will see an SCV scout out of Jason playing it ultra safe. I know I was watching some people play TVZ earlier. Yeah. A lot of criticism for that SCV scout, but you're facing True. You have no idea what's going to be happening. Yeah. It really, I feel like, depends on, does True have respect for you? Does he have respect as in he thinks, you know what? I'm not just going to 12 pool this guy. I think I actually have to think about how this is going to go down. And he may not even play that style, but a lot of it does have to do with that respect. Does he think you have the potential to be able to defend his attacks? And will he, because of that, play even safer or play even with more multitasking? Yeah,
I think at least for now, he is going to be just hanging out, get his at least 2 base economy in check, and deal with the Reaper as best as he can. He actually made 6 lings, by the way, so
ultra safe.
That does, I would say he showing some respect right now, because some would say just make 4 lings, get that extra drone. However, when you make 6 lings as well, it allows you to take that the third base as soon as your speed is done pretty easily, even if there is a Hellion. And it also lets you do a counterattack, a slight counterattack to the natural. If there's no bunker, you can get some pretty decent damage done.
And I have not seen Jason go for that bunker at his natural before. Now, he may do that in this game because of those 6 slings. That's a general tip-off. And there the bunker is on the way. You would see 4 to be able to thwart that Reaper, but no, it is a full 6. Overlord is going to move just out of range of those Marines and the high ground, and at least, though, it does scout the bunker.
All right, so here, notice that True is continuing to mine gas throughout this all, and he is going to invest 100 into that Overlord speed. I wasn't sure if he was about to drop a Roach Warren and then just flood some Roaches or something like that, but no, he just decided to mine a little bit more gas, and now he's just going to be going for that Overlord speed. And that also comes with that respect, right? He wants to know exactly what it is that Jason is doing so that he can counter it as best as he can, and then probably try to excel in that mechanical game when it comes down to the macro. At least that's what I would be thinking about.
By the way, right there, that Reaper did scout the Queens and the Lings going for the rocks. So I'm very curious if that's going to affect his play. That is Jason's play, because, of course, True is opening up the possibility to do an attack up the right-hand side of the map instead of up the left. That could easily get into the third base of Jason through a different pathway that you may not normally expect if you're scouting for it. And now Jason has to be far, far more careful about how he's scouting to watch out when True comes out for the attack. And looks like best defense will be that good offense, getting out a Siege Tank very early on to stop spreading that creep.
Yeah, and he's going to be across the map with that Siege Tank, which is going to be the majority of his army. And True, he already has Overlord speed, and he also dropped down the Evo Chamber. So let's look on that production tab for a while and see if he decides to make that Overlord into a Dropper Lord and kind of catch Jason off guard while he's trying to focus on doing damage with this medevac in the tank. And there you have it. That's 3 of them. How many Queens did he make?
In total, out on the map, he has 3 Queens, and of that main attacking force, there is 26 Lings, plus 1 melee is on the way, but it's not going to be done for this engagement. Part of me is actually Carapace is on the way.
Oh, the Viking, though, it knows exactly what's going to be happening. And you know what? This first Overlord might be getting taken out. Yeah, I think the Overlord will get taken out before it's able to unload into the main. So it goes, yeah, before even all of the Lings do get out. Jason has to react right now.
At least right now, it will be semi-multi-pronged. You do have Lings in the front, forcing all the Marines to hang out in that bunker. SCVs are being pulled, but you got to remember there are Lings in the main base. Some units are coming out of production. You have some Marines from the bunker, or pardon me, Marines from the barracks.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of Marines coming out right now, but I'm not sure if it's actually going to be enough. SCV is going to fight with the help of those Marines, but damage is still inflicted. 7 workers down, and there's even more Lings in the Overlords.
Yeah, and he's going to drop them right on top of those Marines and the medevac.
Oh
my goodness!
Loads them all up into the low health Overlord. The Viking snipes it, and that's going to be the end of this aggression from True.
Yeah,
maybe
Jason,
not actually.
Oh no, there's actually a lot of Lings inside of the main right now, and Jason, you know, he's actually doing a really good job with this. Keep in mind, but he did lose 12 SCVs. True got his third base up and has managed to start droning up as well. And I believe, yeah, he started the lair. It's already halfway done. So very, very. I mean, it's tough to defend like that many Lings at that time. And he didn't die to it, and he also has a 3rd command center, so he should be able to replenish that SCV count.
I'd have been worried, though, if all those Lings in that one last Overlord was not sniped. That potentially would be enough to overwhelm those Marines, and you'd have Lings in the middle of the mineral line. You'd have Lings behind that, and easily they could have got us around on those Siege Tanks. But now we have another Siege Tank, once again going out for Jason. And this is kind of what triggered the first attack out of True. He saw the Siege Tank after a little while, pushed it back, and then went for the pressure. The Siege Tank, though, will start to be able to nice and creep, but True does have to start spreading creep to the right-hand side as he is, and Jason needs to start worrying about that.
Yeah, I mean, you do not want to let that creep get out of hand.
Ooh, another Dropper Lord on the way, by the way.
You're going to see this all game, Drenok. The way that True likes to play, as soon as that Baneling Nest is done, which it is, he might even start getting Banelings in them. And King Sejong Station, usually you're like, oh yeah, it's really, really good for the Terran player because they can put a Liberator in a position that the Zerg can't get to without mutas, or at least, I would even say Ravagers. But for Zergs dropping Banelings, you just go right into that natural, drop them, and then pop right back out.
True is feeling so confident right now. Just took his 4th hatch on the right-hand side of the map, and now he has to worry about this little Marine move up. There is 3 medevacs supporting it, but 4 Queens will be enough to snipe one of them. There's a Siege Tank to be able to fall back onto, and Jason is simply going to rotate from attacking the Queens into that 3rd base, looking for some pressure, but he's got to be super careful. The other side of the map, by the way, his 3rd base is under fire by a lot of Lings.
Yeah, gigantic counterattack with Lings. I didn't see how many of SCVs were there. And now we're going to see that in the left side, how many SCVs will be dying. Marines do at least deal with it at the moment. The Queen not going to get that snipe on that medevac, and it will get into the main.
Lings, though, will be speedy enough. And remember, Centrifugal Hooks is just about done, so the Banelings themselves can start to do some stuff. But now we have a Baneling drop. How good is the multitasking of Jason? Will he be able to pull his units out of the way in time?
I don't think so. Those SCVs, he's going to get it. Oh, not in time. He does lose at least 8 SCVs. He might even go back. He might go back.
But at the same time, in the bottom right, you know, he did drop some of those Marines, and the Lings are going to be able to clean them up with that multi-part attack that Jason was going for a little bit earlier.
Yeah, he did end up cleaning it. How many drones did True lose throughout all that?
In total, 20 that he was able to kill. Or actually,
he killed 20.
True killed 20. True lost one drone.
Wow, so a really, really solid defense out of True. Jason at 47 SCVs to the 61 drones of True, who is getting his +2/+2, as well as Aspire. So I do like when Zergs do delay the Spire for a bit. As long as you can deal with drops, it's actually really nice just having that big Ling Bane force. Because if you go into Mutas too quickly, sometimes you just straight up die.
Overlord spots the move out. This is going to be really key for True. He's got this offensive force in the top right-hand corner, moving on into that third base. And a lot of this has happened when you had the drop from True earlier on. He was droning the entire time. He has a great economic advantage. And now Baneling can go crashing into those SCVs. The command is lifted up, but Baneling's crashed straight into them, possibly using more than he'd have wanted to. And looks like for now, hey, how are you doing there, Ace Slayer?
I'm
doing pretty good, man. We're doing pretty good.
Well.
Sensor Tower was made in the main base of Jason to be very careful about where these attacks are coming from, but he wants one more so at the third base to solidify that economy, to get it going. This entire game, True has had a severe economic advantage, starting with his attack, droning after that, and now shutting down the third base for a second time, Tempo.
Exactly, and anytime you're able to defend the Terran push as well as get that much damage done to the Terran on this other side of the map, you're feeling pretty good as a Zerg player, because this is the time that the Terran is trying to kill the fourth, whether they're going for a death push in order to just parade and kill you completely. Neither of that happened here for Jason.
Yeah. And the fourth really came up for True maybe 3-4 minutes ago. It wasn't as in it's kind of on the way, halfway done, and then it gets canceled. Literally, it is up. Drones starting to go there, and now 11 mutas are on the way to boot with a counterattack in the top right-hand corner. So very easily this offensive force for Jason, the right-hand side, may be pushed back. But 2 Widowmines, they're ready to go off. Looks like the Widowmines are going to go off. Nice splits from True. Beautiful. And 4 more Banelings are coming in. Looks like the SCV's not going to split. Going to head up into the main base or head up in the third, but the Lings are going to end up getting them.
And these are 2/2 Lings, by the way. They're
this
getting
pulls back
so
the
much
offensive
damage.
force of Jason, too.
Yeah, and this is slowing down Jason because, you might even lose that third command center. It's getting very low. I don't even know if there's an SCV there to repair it. It doesn't look like there is, but I feel like he should be able to get one there in time. Oh goodness.
True has sacrificed a lot of Banelings and Lings in this attack. Of course, it's kind of how you play this style. However, overall and all in this game, he has killed 46 drones or 46 XCVs to losing 1 drone.
1 drone.
1. And that was the multiple multi-point attacks. GG, well played.
GG.
Jason
True.
taps out. True takes game one
number 1
after a great drop into the main. And he even lost, what was that, 8 Lings in one of those Overlords. Just loses them.
Yeah.
Doesn't get those down. Even could have maybe ended the game right there. But he takes game 1. Casually takes a sip of his coffee. Getting up in the morning. He's trying to wake himself up. And Jason's like, if it wasn't for this. It wasn't for this.
I love Jason, though, man. He's just like,
you see the smile on his face right there. Oh, yeah, I got it.
That's Crayon of the Cray squad. Saying, hey man, the Banelings, they're pretty good against SCVs. So maybe think about playing Zerg because you could make some Banelings too.
Yep.
Top them.
You may be able to speak to this, Tempo, but really when the first push came out of Jason, just with that 1 siege tank heading towards the natural base of True, was that killed or did he pull it back? Because that would have been one of the deciding factors when the Lings drop. Do you have that one source of AoE, the siege tank, to start shelling them? And I do not think it was. He just had some Marines, then he had the bunker, and those were the only things really holding. There wasn't the siege tank support. Because he went out to move a little bit early. But I like that move out with the siege tank. Number 1, he can clean up creep because of True's super aggressive heavy creep style that he played. But number 2, I like it even more because he was trying to take a lead somewhere. But sadly, it was a little bit almost of a greedy offensive play. He needed that at home. It was too risky to do. And the Ling drop punished him quite thoroughly for it.
He didn't know at first, and then maybe when he was focusing on killing the Overlords, he might have forgotten about the siege tank and the medevac. So whether the medevac was inside of the siege tank, or rather the siege tank was inside of the medevac, sorry, the Queens are probably targeting it the whole time. A lot of good Zergs nowadays are just targeting medevacs with the Queens.
Heavy
they
Queen
can
style.
hit it from so far away.
And with those recent patches, of course, the Queens are even better at taking down those medevacs, hunting them down. And when you have that much creep, not only do you vision on that map in a way that normally Zerg players don't, but you have the speed to get the Queens there even quicker to shut it down. In the Ling style, everything culminates into a great drop defense Zerg style, with also the possibility to counterattack in any of multiple ways.
Absolutely right, man. So, and that is True style. He likes to hit you at different angles. You notice that every single time he would have Lings and Banes with the counterattacks. It wasn't just Lings, which will allow you to at least evacuate. You have a few Banes in there, and all of a sudden you can just obliterate a mineral line.
And especially when True makes and forces Jason to do multitasking, those Banelings, they're just going to aim move in and decimate different forces around the map. And he's really got to be careful where he decides to put his APMs.
Yeah, so here we go, putting his APM to mining those cakes. It is going to be our Psystorm representative in the bottom left-hand corner. It is True.
And his opponent in the top right-hand corner, down 0-1 in this best-of-3 series in the round of 16. It is the Red Terran player, Jason, representing Cray S.
Cray Squad.
Cray Squad.
So here we go. Jason, I would say the foreign hope.
The foreign hope right here. The Canadian hope. There's a lot of other Canadian hopes, but I think Jason is the one. I feel like he's got the powers. If you see his cheeky little smile, you're like, yeah, yeah.
He's a really cool guy, man.
He's the guy that's totally like, he just got destroyed by someone. He's like, no, it was just one bailing hit. Just one bailing hit could have fixed it.
It's all good, man. It's just like,
it's good. He's always really optimistic.
It's all good, man.
It's all good.
But here we are on Galactic Process. He knows a little bit about how True likes to play now. Now it's all about executing a defense against it, right? Whether he's able to get in and try to... It's really, really hard sometimes because I feel like Jason actually, he knew what was up, right?
It's a hard position to be in when you identify it.
Yeah. I even feel like if the tank was at home, True can still pick up the Lings and then drop them on top of the tank. But then it at least forces him to do that, and they're not killing his SCVs, right?
Buying him a little bit of extra time because he did have 5 Marines coming out at a time, so he could have had the potential to have a whole nother wave come out and easily shut down those Lings or snap the dropper lords, not allowing them to happen again. But in this game, it may happen a little bit differently. You have a slightly different map architecture, but you still could drop it in the main. The natural base, you're not going to be able to wall off as simply as you did on... what was the last map we had?
King
King Sejong Station. You're not going to have that easy wall off, so it is much easier to have a random little attack into the natural base and then into the main.
Yeah, it's actually one of the reasons why people say it's so hard against drop styles of Terran, but you see that True kind of took that into his own arsenal and said, hey, I can be Terran too. So here we go, though. It is going to be map number 2. Jason needs to win this one in order to have a chance to get that game 3 and advance to the round of 8. True only needs one more game in order to go ahead into that round of 8, and the winner of this match is going to be staying on stage in order to play off against your boy Banana.
OMG Banana, who has some special things ready for the camera when we will cast him most likely against True, but also Jason. Jason is fighting at the moment. Here, though, we have True playing it as he played earlier, getting his Overlord speed, making sure he's got all the vision on the map, and, of course, prepping for more of those drops. Yeah,
that's his style. He really likes it, and it tends to work pretty well. So it's not like he only does drops. He actually has a very nice, solid style behind it, where he gets very heavily upgraded Lings. But Jason, what is he doing? You know, he's going into that siege tank again, and also getting the medevac.
Lings get the Reaper for a second time. Last game they also did that when the Reaper had an initial scout, went in for a second time, and then the Queens and Lings got it. But Reaper goes down, and that's not good for Jason. He needs that little bit of map control to be able to allow him to say, is there a third base? Are there drones? Or is there an Overlord heading into my base?
Yeah. So I wonder if I was gonna say, I wonder if he would actually go for the Viking first, just to kill Overlords, because he's like, you know what, you're not dropping me right now.
That is pretty safe though, especially when you want to be defending with that siege tank medevac, and your natural is so open. You want to have the potential to be able to pick that siege tank up, bring it to the high ground easily. Yeah. But he could get a quick Viking and start to go hunting for those Overlords.
And I wouldn't even be against that, just because it would supply block True and mess around with his macro, force him to make more Overlords, and then he just wouldn't have the vision around the map either. Would have to force more Overlords to go across the map in order to drop. But I mean, who am I? I can't be like, oh well, that's the way to do it, and you don't have a medevac to maneuver your tanks at home, so he just attacks you at the front or something like that. So as it is right now, it's a bit more tame out of True, at least for the time being, but we already see the double Evo chamber, and he's even playing it a bit safe here with the Spore Crawler, making sure that if it was to be like a Liberator, he would be able to at least have that Spore Crawler out.
And the medevac has to be super crazy right here. Oh, Creep's not going to quite be at that third hatch to be able to get the Queens there quicker, but I do like that Spore. It's a really interesting decision. I wonder if he did scout and thought Banshees or something, because I feel like he's very confident coming off that game 1. But as we've said before, he is giving that respect to True, or pardon me, Jason, in this game.
Yeah, and without the Creep there, the Queens can't get over there as fast as they would like to. Now, I believe finally the Creep has connected, yeah, and it did get pushed away, so that's going to have to end. Gets that HP of the hatchery down to just a little bit above half. But is there a follow-up for Jason where he's actually going to try to go for that?
Well, he did out on 2 racks a little bit earlier, but that was also with a third CC, so just kind of moving on into the macro stages of the game, like he did last game, but it was shut down so many times by Ling harassments.
Yeah. It might be a little bit more tough to do those run-bys on this map, the way that True was doing it. So I feel like if those rocks, he needs to keep an eye on the rocks by the third base, Jason does, because True will utilize that all game. Takes out the rocks
with dropper lords, he doesn't need to utilize the rocks. He can just bypass them.
He could just go right over it. You're absolutely right. So he didn't do a ling drop this time. And you got Jason. I like how Jason didn't play it too conservatively, though. Like, he's not scared and saying, like, I need to stay in my base in case there's going to be drops. And he does make the Viking.
Which I love that. And that's what a player needs to do in this position when you are down to actually get damage done. When you're a little bit scared, that's only going to hurt you. Yes, you can play safe, but you have to force True to make a decision. You have to force True to be on the back foot and put the reins of the game in your own hands in these situations. But you are the underdog.
These have queens in them. Yeah.
Oh, hello there. Don't even need creep when you have the dropper lord queens.
This is really cool out of True.
Man, his creep spread is simply phenomenal.
And he's going to be able to just be everywhere.
Yeah, every attack path he's going to have vision on. Not only that, but, you know, Jason will have to worry about killing that before he moves in extra time. This is one of the best things you can do as Zerg in this position. You simply put yourself ahead in so many ways.
Yeah, I mean, getting vision is one of the most important things in this matchup. Seeing where those medevacs are coming from and pushes such as this one that Jason is going for. True loses an overlord there, but not even close to supply blocking him. It's just going to at least hint him that, hey, I need to make some units right now. And he's down by 10 army supply, so without centrifugal hooks done, I don't believe it is. That might actually be a problem for True.
Yeah. Right now, we do only have Stim, though. No combat shields, no +1/1s. This bio is going to have to fall back. And I love that there's actually a Widowmine on the low ground, too, with that tank, just in case there's a lane counterattack into the back of the siege tank. But for now, there's a very nice toehold into that third base, at least putting pressure on True. Double Widowmine. I love that. You know, if the Lings do run around, if the Queen is running around because of that creep spread, you can shut it down. But for now, with that bio count, not being reset, but being knocked down a couple notches, he's got to be very careful about how he goes about this, because even just Lings on their own with +1/1 almost done could potentially be disastrous. Or +2/2, actually.
Even killing this, though, right now, it does give True an opportunity to have 2 avenues of attack. So, I mean, when you do the push like this, I'm always wondering if you use that cliff or if you do open it up and then push up and just go for it. Because you're pushing up onto creep. You know what I mean? Like, he opens up the floodgates and True floods in. Widowmine does get a decent hit right there, but Centrifugal Hooks does finish right in the nick of time. But it was all a diversion in order to take out that fourth base. Jason showing some really good multitasking right now.
Yeah, at the same time, taking out some creep, being very careful about that. A little bit of friendly fire goes down, but both medevacs do get away. Lings clean up the Widowmine at that fourth base, but this is essentially what True did in Game 1. He's taking the fourth hatch around the same time, and at this point, basically just coming down to the way the map is formed, the map architecture, and how Jason is getting his little attacks here and there.
Yeah, Jason is really turning it on this game, you know. He hasn't really got that many drone kills, but he's able to just pull True all around the map. He's killing the rocks at the right side, even though True knows about it with the creep being there. But I do like his position because, yeah, he hasn't taken damage from these counterattacks. It might change very soon, though. Viking does know at least that these Lings are going to be there. He saw the Overseer. I don't know if he saw the Lings. Yes, he did. And I don't know if they can shoot it. Yeah, they can.
Bio is here to defend that third base, unlike the previous games, and they do at least have that buffer to be able to sit behind and shoot semi like a bunker in some of the situations. Mutas are on the way. That is 12, and they will be able to shut down a lot of these drops, so Jason has a closing window on how he can actually be doing damage into this third base, into the fourth hatch.
Yeah, 2-2 did finish here for True. Jason's is just about beginning. It's about a quarter of the way. So True's Lings and Banes are going to be incredibly strong, especially on all of this creep. And the Mutas have just now entered the fray, so he cannot freely move around with those medevacs as he would like to. Okay. True finally is able to at least thwart the kind of aggression that Jason was throwing at him all game. Is he going to be able to deal with this 2-2 Ling force?
He's got to be very careful. 2-2 is on the way for himself. That is Jason. It looks like he's just going to opt to be aggressive, not defensive. On the right-hand side, a large amount of Jason is pushing across the map, and there's no creep spread there, so True does have an inclination about it, but doesn't 100% know. And right here, the Lings are going to completely kill all the bio before they manage to get in the bunkers. Mutas are attacking the natural base, but at the same time, True is pulling back. He's being careful with a lot of these Lings, actually going for an alternate attack path instead of heading towards the natural, which is completely walled off. Mutas straight on top of the bio. They could even get on the production and shut down this train attack coming out of Jason.
Yeah, this is insane right now. There are so many Mutas right now, and he's also going to be attacking the third.
Oh, he's paying attention to multiple locations. He's going to lose all his bio.
Yep, he needs to be so careful because the third of Jason is now getting flooded, and he does have a good force across the map, but he's getting just absolutely battered by this. The Widowmines took out a good amount of the mutas, though. I mean, that used to be a pretty hefty mutaflog.
And still, we have some bio right here, and finally, Jason's able to put his full attention into this stuff, but still, True is preoccupying him with attacks at the third base. The army of True is pulling back, but there's only, what, 5-6 Marines right there?
Yeah.
Actually, for Jason, which is pushing. Once those mutas pull back, even though there's only what looks like 5 in total, they should be able to deal with that, shut it down. 8 more are on the way. Finally, 2-2 is finishing for Jason. He will be on even upgrades with True, but I think already his economy has just been hurt too badly.
Yeah.
At the moment, True does have about a quarter more income than Jason.
Yeah, he doesn't have the larva just yet, maybe.
Up right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, right now you're going to see that Jason dropping the mules at the third is going to boost that income by a bit. And they're very, very close in supply, and having 2-2 for Jason is going to be pretty nice here. True doesn't like to really go to hive super early like a lot of Zergs will.
Oh, Widowmine's down. Is that going to be enough?
You're right. It's just a little bit. Not the greatest. Oh my
God!
God!
The Baneling's going to crash straight into the bio. There's almost no army left on the right-hand side. There's a little bit for Jason fighting the mutas, pushing them back, and there's a mule to defend something. Not sure what happened right there. I think he meant to scan.
Well, that's a lot of mutas, and where is the ground army for Jason? I think they're just rushing out of the barracks as best as they can, but I don't know if it's going to be enough, man. True. Hasn't really had his economy touched. It's just one of those situations where you're going to either try to kill the fourth in the mid-game, or you're either trying to kill a lot of drones. Jason just been trading army value for the most part.
Once again, True has only lost 1 worker.
1 drone, yeah. That's.
I kind of like that. That's kind of, I'll give you 1 worker. It's cool, cool. It's cool. Yeah, I'll give you 1 worker. Here we go. Throws that drone out, and I'm curious to actually what he has lost that to. Maybe he was making a spine or something, canceled it, and bio-stimmed into it or something like that. Most likely not that, but something akin to that.
Well, then. They're very close in supply, but like you said, it's more about the income and more so about the bank, I would say, of True. You see 2 hatcheries being put down, and they are going to be bases. It's not like only macro hatches.
Oh, he needs to be defending his third. Another massive attack is heading into it from True. All the SCVs move in as quickly as they can. The sensor tower spots the attacking force, but the third base is going to be picked up, and the potential fourth base may be sniped.
Yeah, luckily for him, it's not going to get sniped just yet. True pulls back, doesn't want to commit to the attack. I think that's very smart to do as well, but Jason, going to live to fight another day here. Doesn't lose everything at that third base. And True has a Roach Warren, actually.
It's a little bit dangerous for Jason to be pushing over in the left-hand side of this map right now, just because True can see him scan it, can see him move in, and then easily can counterattack his third, even with the sensor tower. It's got an awkward position where he can move forward, but then instantly he's got to take 1 step back.
Yeah. No, this is actually really funny. Do you remember, I don't know if it was at Home Story Cup, where somebody told True to make roaches, and he was like, no, not when you see tanks. So there are no tanks right now here for Jason. So maybe he's going to be transitioning right now into this Roach Ravager Infestor style. And that's going to be really nice because I don't think we're seeing too many Marauders out of Jason. It's yeah, I think 1 is being produced at a time.
In total, we have really 7. But really, army supply-wise, overall, it is 129 to only 80 of Jason. Jason is barely holding on, but this could be the fight he wants to take. Nice Widowmine shot onto the mutas, and his bio manages to kill the Lings as they come out of that funnel.
Yeah, so this is actually an opportunity for Jason to get some damage done. Those Roaches are not going to have any upgrades, but...
Yeah, SCV!
Oh, get it, son! Come on! What if they just trapped him on the other side? It's just like, wow.
The rocks go down.
No, actually, I think they just...
Yeah, no, the rocks just blow up when they go down. Yeah, they'll kill him. Roach Speed is just finishing up. However, True is going to go for a counterattack with his Baneling Muta army. 1 Widowmine is ready, but Overseers will accompany those Mutas, so they'll be able to snipe it easily. The production is in kind of a strange position right here. It's going to easily be sniped when the bio is trying to come out, but at this point, the bio army is falling back about a portion of it. At the same time, Jason is pushing on the left-hand side of the map.
The Mutas all friendly fire mostly on a lot of the Marines, but yeah, on the left side, I believe that base, the gold of True is going to get taken out. 2 Banelings are going to try to hit these SCVs, and they all get taken out. 12. 14, again, Mutas are inside of the main. Oh, Infestors are going to get those Medivacs. And I think he let it live there. He's just like, you know what? I don't need to fungal it again. Wow. This is actually kind of a tense situation here for Jason. He lost so many workers, and True might have actually lost a few drones during that.
Oh, let's see. But, Control R this one. Nope. He's only lost 1 during the entire game. You were hoping 33 SCVs have gone down, and now 2 Medivacs just on the edge of moving on in to that army possibly getting fungled and taken down. But Jason actually has been surviving for a long time. Just a little bit earlier, it was 125 army supply to 160, which was closer than it had been in the last game. But now you see True's economy with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases starting to really kick in. He's got all the larvae he wants to produce lings, to produce roaches, whatever he wants to do, even getting up to hive. But with this defense from Jason, it's kind of been a little bit hard to move in, but it's been because of all the counterattacks. This time, Jason does not have a counterattack, and he has to engage directly.
Yes, he does. This is not the fight that he wants to take. Medevacs, are they low on energy? But I was going to say, Widow Mines, not really what you want to have against Roach Ravager Infestor. He did go into Ghost production. I don't believe that they're on the map just yet, but keep in mind, the Roach Ravagers don't have the best upgrades. They're about on 1, 2.
We got that one ghost. Hero Ghost gonna go for snipe. Oh, not sure what it got right there. I think it was a roach, but roach is not gonna be enough. Huge fungal growth, and the Ghost of Biles goes straight down to the army. This time there was not a planetary fortress to defend the natural like there was at that 4th base, and the roaches are simply swarming on in through. All right, on top of the production, 28 more lings are coming out for True. There's to swarm the other bases if he can, and he's right on top of the army. Army goes down at the moment, army supply wise. We do have 134 to 40. Still, the production is working good. 7 Marines at a time.
Another fungal on top
beautiful
of
fungal coming out of True. GG, well played. True 2-0s it and moves on to the round of 8.
Damn, True takes the victory 2-0 in a very, very entertaining fashion. Jason, though, man, he turned it on. I thought he was going to be able to break True at the 3rd.
I agree.
During that push that he was doing, using the rocks as a kind of barrier so that True couldn't get around it. But then once he opened up the rocks, I was like, oh no, you done just opened up True to the world. It's just like, there's a whole other world out there. True just floods on through, shuts everything down, and from then on, Jason, he couldn't get any economic damage done.
As I said, also during that game, the majority of the reason why Jason was still in that game was because Jason was counterattacking True. He had a lot of counterattacks ready, but once those were shut down, he didn't reset them after the second-ish time. He did not reset those counterattacks, didn't get more ready to be able to attack, and eventually just kind of started slipping up, but he was very close in that game too. I loved what he put up, and also, by the way, I just love that True was always getting those extra hatches a little bit earlier, keeping up his larva count. Really an expert at the Lingbane style in the TVZ.
Like galore, like we were talking about him going into the drops, but oh my god. Woo! Guess what? We get to see True again. He's going to be playing against
OMG Banana. Coming up next, we have True versus OMG Banana. That will be a PVZ. This is Cheesadelphia Summer 2016, brought to you by Nerd Street Gamers, sponsored by Jarvis Innovations, and of course, powered by Jarvis Innovations. They bring all the power here. And sponsored, of course, by Team Ascension and Psystorm Gaming. Please, !TASC in chat and !Psystorm if you want to learn more about those. And, of course, !Sloth for Sloth Esports. A wonderful, wonderful maker of mouse pads, shirts, and amazing Sloth apparel.
Yeah. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.